break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, finally,
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another live stream here on a Wednesday night. We have been trying to do weekly live streams, as you know, and give a diverse range of interviews and guests and content and all the rest of it. As you probably are aware, if you were watching the various social media, the plan tonight was to be chatting to Chris Townsend. But as Chris lives in the depths of Scotland and is under the depths of snow and has a few other issues at the moment, unfortunately, he can't make it. But we've rebooked Chris for the 3rd of March, was it? 3rd or 4th? Anyway, the Wednesday, the 3rd of March, I think it was, or 4th. And we hope to be picking up with him then and talking in great detail. So I didn't want to disappoint everybody tonight. I just wanted to come on board and perhaps try something a little bit risque, but we'll see if it works. And that is a video phone-in. I thought we would put the address out there and see if anybody wanted to join us, particularly anybody from far afield. And I was thinking, actually, Martha, if you're watching in Canada, and Sarah in New Zealand, it would be lovely to have you on board if you wanted to just join in and have a quick video chat and just tell us about what's going on in your neck of the woods. Anyway, as usual, I have the head honcho in the social room on the chat room, and here's Rose this evening.
Oh, I didn't know you meant me. Thought you meant Mark Sean, who's with us again from Bristol, who's very good, joins us every week, so that's brilliant. But otherwise, no, it's sort of a normal week. We haven't had snow, but we've had some really cold weather. So, yeah, it's been cold week, but no snow, which has been quite good. Well, flurries, but nothing that's settled.
Well, it's been chilly, but it actually had the occasional really bright sunny day as well, which lifted the spirits no end. And hopefully, like many people, that winter might actually sort of start to be over, and we can look forward to some sunshine. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? So anyway, the plan tonight, as I say, is if anybody would like to join in and have a bit of a chat with us. Obviously, keeping it family friendly, but if you wanted to ask us any questions, or we could ask you questions about obviously where you're located and how life is treating you, outdoor life is treating you, it'd be nice to have a little bit of a social. The way to do this is drop me an email to one word, theoutdoorsStation@gmail.com. So that's 2 S's together, theoutdoorsStation@gmail.com. And I've got the emails in front of me here. I will send you a return email, and all you have to do is click the login button, and your camera or your laptop or your phone or whatever will go live. You'll probably need let's say a reasonable connection of 4G. We can manage just about on 4G if it's a good 4G connection, but normal Wi-Fi or normal internet should be fine. So if you'd like to join us, there is an open offer. It could be a little bit risky. It could go horribly wrong. But on the other hand, it could actually be good fun. So my attention is, I've got one eye on the email. So as I say, that email address is theoutdoorsStation@gmail.com, and it's my studio laptop email that I can pick up and send you a reply to. So if anybody is watching and would just like to join in for a chat and tell us a bit about how life is treating you, or how the weather, or the location, or the country that you're in. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a chat with people from overseas. There's not much other news that we've got, really, to be honest. The big trade show, ISPO, is now over. That was running last week. And that was the first time it was a fully digital trade show. Perhaps that's going to be of little interest to people, but it was interesting to see how the Germans did it very efficiently, as you would expect, but sort of lacking a certain amount of luster. And in fact, it got to a point a few times with a lot of people saying, I just want to switch it off. Yes, the future, it's early days, obviously, with the future of digital trade shows, whatever interest you might have. And so ISPO was one to watch, obviously being the first big one, I suppose, in the outdoors world. But it wasn't the easiest thing to navigate at all, and very hard to feel you were getting inspiration. In fact, if I bring you back in, Rose, do you remember what it was like when we used to do Friedrichshafen, and we went down to Friedrichshafen, show what it used to be like walking through all the different halls?
Yeah, I just remember the first time we went, we were, I was just absolutely floored. I couldn't believe all the things that were available. Just things that you never saw in the UK, and there was just the whole shebang. It was just huge, halls and halls of outdoor kit. You didn't know where to start. I was quite starstruck, actually, that first year we went.
And that was going back to 2004, I think it was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually, some of the things that we've definitely noticed have changed. In 2004, there was very, very, very little outdoor gear for youngsters. Teenagers, but not toddlers or small walkers, however you want to call it. And the sort of the buggy part of taking babies out had only just started to get the four-wheel drive look. So there was very little technical clothing available for youngsters, so sort of sub-teens, which has now obviously completely changed because there's a whole wardrobe now available. What other changes were there?
Well, I think we were amazed at sort of all the difference in technical fabrics and the range of stuff that was available. I mean, rucksacks that were, new fabrics that were coming through, and some of the companies that were already looking at sustainability. I mean, I remember right back then being really impressed with the Klatamusen, a Swedish company who, their stuff was just brilliant, but really sustainable. They thought about recycling, the environment. It was just, all those years back when we were just beginning to start to grope towards it, and they were way ahead of their field. I mean, now on that ISPO, there was an awful lot about sustainability. It was one of the main things they were talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah, they Klatamusen were a leading edge, really. I think probably they were they the only company that we saw that was really flying the flag? I mean, they were recycling everything, every offcut that they had from their rucksacks and the clothing they made something else with. And in fact, I've still got this bulletproof shopping bag, which was made from all the offcuts of rucksacks. And you had that mysterious offer of a Kevlar skirt, and you didn't take it up.
Well,
Bulletproof
they hadn't got my size, had they? They'd actually made some with a zip out of Teflon. Not Teflon. What is it?
Kevlar,
that's right. Bulletproof. I thought having a bulletproof skirt would be quite fun.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, I can see we've had one volunteer who's coming on board to join us. That's Mark Jan. So I'll be dropping you a note in a second, Mark. So stay by your phone or your computer, whatever you're using. It looks like you're using a mobile. So we'll be bringing Mark on board in a second. And he can tell us a bit about his live streams, because he's been doing some live streams about outdoor cooking related to his canoe group, his paddling group. So, I won't say any more. I'll see what Mark's got to say. So I'm going to hand over to Rose for a second while she thinks about something else to say while I send Mark a quick email.
Yeah, just going back to Friedrichshafen, I mean, I was really struck as the years progressed how it did change. I mean, there was an awful lot as we went on. When we first went, we actually drove over there, which took us quite a while. And obviously we took lots of notes and photos and all the rest of it. And as time went on, there was a lot more signs up that you couldn't take photos or videos. People are a lot more concerned about the integrity of designs and so forth, especially, I suppose, with the Chinese. There was an awful lot of Chinese people, and a lot of things which appeared at Friedrichshafen for the market the following year would appear a copy very quickly. So certainly security got a lot more. But there was such a good atmosphere, a very vibrant, lots of parties, lots of people knowing each other, getting together, very open. And I think the last time we went, it was beginning to change quite a lot. Certainly, we're finding that the whole system's changed quite a lot. Just in as much as we used to have a lot of reps come and see us, and apart from COVID, we haven't had, pre-COVID, the last few years, we've had less and less reps actually come and see us. We're having to work a lot harder to research new things, whereas before we'd have people suggest things to look at. Whereas now it's not the case at all. Don't know how you're going with your. Do you want me to keep
Yes, indeed. Well, I can
carrying on?
see I've got Mark in the green room, so I'm going to bring you on in a second, Mark. We'll see if this technology is working, and look like you're working off a laptop, and make sure you're fully dressed and not dressed in your nightie and your bedding, bed clothes. So well, let's bring Mark in and see what he's got to say. Good evening, Mark. Whoops. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening. Hello, Bob.
All right, that's nice and clear. I think I'll just turn your volume up a bit. How are you doing this evening?
I'm finding a bit tired, maybe from all the Zoom and the internet work a couple of days. So have a nice day off now.
So how's it gone? In you're very dark there, Mark. You got a light on you could put on there by any chance?
1 second.
That's better. We can see you now. So tell us about your cooking streams. Then they looked quite interesting. I saw about sort of 20 minutes of it. Were they a great success?
Yes, I think the first one we had about 60 or 70 people, and the second one we had 40 people. And it was surprisingly well. Yeah, I was surprised myself, as I'm not very good with digital, and you inspire me with your show. So I go like, let's have a try. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, excellent. And what were you cooking that night? Let's whet people's appetite with the plan. And also tell us when your next stream is and where we can find it, so that if anybody's interested in wild cooking, they can follow it.
On the moment, not planned anything yet, but that will be probably by Facebook. And if you don't mind, I can post it on the Facebook page from you. And what I were cooking was something like wedged potatoes with a lot of cheese on it, and a sponge cake with cherries in it. And I saw somebody else was having a whole chicken in his barbecue.
That's quite a good one. So obviously it was a good. I mean, everybody was wrapped up. It was a cold day they were doing it, wasn't it?
It was blowing hooligans there, and it was also snowing, and the tarp almost collapsed afterwards.
Oh, bless them. And you watched the canoe stream that we did with Ben Seal, and I know
Yes.
you're quite active in your canoe group. Have you had any thoughts on what he was talking about? Were people in your canoe group aware of the access problems?
Oh, definitely. There are so many groups. There's a Pacific Facebook group even called Wales Waterways and Access Ways. They try to open the groups up, the waterways up. It's really an issue, actually, and it's a shame because there's so much space for everybody anyway. So why not help each other? And for walkers, anglers, fishermen, swimmers, canoeists, kayakers, everybody should enjoy the outdoors.
You're based in Bristol, aren't you? Do you find that your immediate area, have you got limitations then, or is it further afield in the wilds of Wales that there's more problems?
There is issues. So long, like Bristol Harbour, you have to have a license. You have to buy them specially from the harbour master, and then you can go in. The canals are accessible if you have a license, and as a British canoeing member we have, so it's okay. There are sometimes pubs or organizations or landowners who don't like people to cross their land to go into the canals, but normally the river trust and everything is helpful, and they don't mind if you come in and put your boat in and go.
Okay, excellent. Well, just to let people know, Mark has dipped in as a free caller, as it were. So if you would like to join the show tonight and tell us a little bit more about information about where you are and what you're doing, particularly if you're for overseas, I'd just be fascinated to see. We can get some imagery of how what your surroundings are like at the moment. The email to write to is one word: theoutdoorsStation@gmail.com. Rose will put the link in the chat at the moment, and drop me a quick email. I'll send you a reply back with a login, and you can join us as well. But back to Mark and what Mark was saying. What if I was going to start canoeing, should we say, with a family, an open canoe as opposed to a kayak. What amount of permits, licenses would I have to purchase? Well, what sort of total are we looking at on top of the boat and the equipment?
You can. I'm not sure how much you pay for the Canal Trust license because I'm a British canoeing member. I think I pay £45 a year, and that includes my license for the waterways. Not all waterways, but most of them, and that suits me perfectly. So it's not overly expensive, I think.
Okay, so roughly, do you know what membership is and what the license is? Just approximately.
I pay £45 roughly, and I think a family of 2 adults and 2 children will be 120 out of my head.
Right. Okay. And that would cover you for most of the whole of the UK or most of access?
Yes, most of the access of the UK, and it also includes a liability insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely worth it at the moment. Excellent, Mark. Well, thanks very much for phoning in. It's good to see you again and chat to you. Now, your Facebook page where people can keep an eye out for your cooking extravaganzas, which one would that be?
It's just on my personal Facebook page. I'm not so organised as you are.
It's an illusion. Don't worry. It's all an illusion.
So no, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We'll drop it on the chat room or on the Outdoor Station Facebook page, and then people can follow it up next time. But thanks very much for joining us, Mark.
Thank you. Have a nice show.
You too. Cheers. Bye. So that was Mark Jan dialing in from Bristol. It was nice to see him, and thanks to him once again for joining the show. It's good to see random participants. As I say, the email is open. Nobody else has been brave enough to join us, but if you are overseas, as I say, I'd love to test the overseas signal and see what we get through. So do drop me a quick email to the Outdoors Station at gmail.com. Actually, one comment that has come in, which is quite interesting. Let's just push this through at the moment from Charles, who's a regular viewer, and remember the right button. It's that one. Okay, that hasn't come through yet. It seems to be taking a while for the questions to come through. I have no idea why at the moment. I'll come back and press a few buttons and see what happens. But Charles was saying, are we up to date with Clatermoussen? They now have one of the reps bringing it into this country as their agent. Expect to see more of it around. That's good. That's very good. Like a lot of quality products, Clatermoussen is not cheap, but the sustainable pedigree and also the quality of their stuff is second to none. In fact, if you remember, Rose, I'll just bring you back in. Do you remember the first product that we got from them were the Live jackets, the Live Down jackets?
And you still take it out with you
every time.
It's absolutely brilliant. And a lot of people, we brought them in, and a lot of the TGO contingency at that time had them, and a lot of them still, I think, use them. They were absolutely brilliant smocks. They're just such high quality, boxed down, and at that time there weren't many people making that boxed down construction in their jackets. I seem to remember we were really impressed. So it wasn't stitched through, so there were no cold spots, as it were, and people really like them. Well,
it's certainly much more common now, but at the time they were unique. I don't even think the is it Cumulus, the British brand? I don't think that even they were doing smocks at the time, and it was smocks particularly that we were looking for. But again, that was 15 years ago, 16 years ago. Things change and obviously evolve, and people take on different designs. But Clatermoussen, keep an eye out for it if you are keen on supporting sustainability and recycling. And they also do, I think they do that's what Charles was just saying a second ago actually. Clatermoussen had a great buyback scheme in those days. When you fell out of love for it, they would offer a voucher in exchange for new gear, which was great. I'm not too sure whether they're still doing that or not at the moment, but I don't know what's going on with this. Oh, there you go, it's come through now. But then they're apparently not doing it at the moment. I haven't spoken to Clatermoussen for a long time, to be fair, but I have been keeping an eye roughly on the brand. So there's a few brands which are well worth keeping an eye on. that do pop up, that do come through. And certain brands have got to be celebrated as well. In fact, Finisterre is another brand UK based and UK manufactured down in Cornwall, and they just won an award for their smock top. In fact, Charles, could you tell me what the name of that top was again? I've forgotten what it was, and if there's any links to it, do you think you could drop that into the chat, and I'll post it on the screen so people can see? But that was a lovely piece, and they are their credibility and the sustainable credibility and the environmental credibility of the product is second to none. So hopefully Charles will drop that in a second, and I'll put that on screen so people can see it. In fact, I might just look it up on the Tinternet to see if I can call it up. But congratulations to them. Do you want to take over for a second, Rose?
Yeah, I think it's just as you were saying that I read, I think it was in the Sunday Times or something, and I wish I could remember the name of the company. It was something that was a company that was coming on board this year, and they would, rather than buy your trainers or runners, what you did is you paid a subscription. So then they would send you a pair of trainers, which you would do so many miles in, or have them for so many months, and then you send them back, and they'd send you a new pair. So I thought, well, that's a really different way, and they'd obviously then recycle the returned ones somehow. But I thought, well, that's a really interesting concept, rather than buying your trainers outright and that's it. Actually, trying to do it in a more sustainable way. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I mean, the other thing that I think I've noticed a lot in the footwear, which we've spoken about before, is the barefoot tendency with the drop to be less. So it's almost flat, zero drop shoes for running and so forth. And a lot of people were really getting on that board with that. Last time I did the TGO and speaking to some of our customers, a lot of people were using the Ultra. Is it Ultra?
Ultrasac, yeah, the Lone Star Ultras.
Yeah, the Lone Star. And those are again on the same sort of basis, aren't they, as the Vibram, the 5-finger type style.
Yeah, the drop's getting lower and lower, isn't it, all the time, certainly. Charles has just dropped in, it was called the Finisterre Biosmock. It's not going to be out until later on in the year, he tells me. But Finisterre themselves, I've got a lovely website, which is finisterre.com. If you're interested in knowing more about a British brand that talks a lot about sustainability. Now, the thing to look up, in fact, if you're interested in that aspect with sustainability, is looking for companies, search if they're a B Corp or not. This gives you a description of what a B Corp is, which is all about reaching certain credentials on their high standards of social, environmental, performance, transparency and accountability. And certified B Corp corporations are for-profit companies that use the power of business to build a more inclusive and sustainable economy. In 2018, we were the first outdoor company in the UK to become B Corp certified, joining a community that now includes over 3,200 businesses in 71 countries around the globe, covering 150 industries. So if you want to know more about Finisterre, their sustainability plans, and also their products, which are wide-ranging for men and women, then do check them out. So that's finisterre.com. But yes, definitely worth checking them out. And I may be having a chat with them at a later stage as well, and perhaps finding out more about the production process, the sustainability issue, and also all the various aspects that go into creating a brand and trying to keep a brand going in the UK under these current times. Anyway, let's just have a quick look and see if anybody else has been brave enough to dial in. No, you haven't. Come on, you cowards. Come and join us on the show. So that's theoutdoorsstation@gmail.com. Drop me a quick email. I'll send you a link back, and then you can drop straight in with your laptop, iPad, webcam, and possibly even phone. So it'd be worthwhile just testing it. If anybody wants to test it on 4G, if you're sitting in a 4G signal at the moment, I'd be very interested to see what the results are like, to see if we get a nice, smooth signal. So, anything else that we were going to talk about tonight, Rose? Just bring you back in.
Nothing that springs to mind. Charles has kindly put the name of the company the subscription shoe people, which was On, I think, a Swiss company.
Oh,
so
right,
thank you for that, Charles. Obviously the man to ask. He knows all these
we go.
things.
The Swiss running shoe brand previewed their running shoe subscription service made from monomaterial, easy to recycle. But is that the same brand, Charles, that Rose was talking about that's doing this sort of lease hire or lease rental?
I think it is.
Yeah? I'll quickly look them up, actually, and just see if they've got a website, Swiss roll, Swiss Army knife, running shoe. Was it running shoes or trainers? Running shoes. Let's have a look. They're come on all the various retail shops. K-Swiss, is that right? No, I don't think that's right.
I think John said they're called On. Oh, Charles said they're called On.
On. Oh, I see. Right, on this. It's a difficult one to Google, isn't it? On Swiss. On running? On running.com, Charles? Do you reckon that? On running.com? Does that sound familiar?
Same brand. They got an ISOPO award for it.
ISPO award. Okay, let's have a quick look at their website then. No, I don't want to sign up for their email at the moment. And I will agree to all your things. Discover the next generation of the ultimate urban running shoe. Look at the grip on that. That's a rather beast. They won an award at ISPO. So I can't see any mention of the rental or whatever you call it system. Subscription. Can you see anything there? So look in their blog section, just have a quick look. Running in New York. Anyway, so sorry, I'm staring away from the camera. I was just trying to work it out if I would find it. Should have had this all prepared beforehand, but as I say, it's all a bit seat of the pants tonight. So does anybody else want to join me on a quick live chat? Ask any questions, join in, just test the system if you're overseas or on 4G, just to see if it's all working. Let's go back to that. See all my emails that were coming in. Last thing you want to say. If not, then it's going to be a fairly short show tonight by the looks of it. Now let's have a look. We've had somebody write in. Let's just see what that says. Try that again. It's just not going across very quickly. I have no idea why not. Let's try again. Anyway, it's from Andy. No, it's not coming across. Who says... Hi, Andy. Thanks for joining in. Sorry, I am doing several things at the same time here. Listened to your West Highland Way podcast recently. That was the one with Rose, wasn't it? Very informative and entertaining. We're hoping to do it soon, COVID permitting. Yes, COVID indeed. We're all hoping to do something outdoors if we can, if we're at all possible at the moment. We're lucky, I suppose, in the sense we have a bit of space around us, a bit of an orchard, and we are living in the country, but we're still limited by, like everybody else, we can't really go anywhere, even though we've got the Malvern Hills on our doorstep, which is a useful asset. It is incredibly busy at the weekend, busier than it's ever been. So we're actually keeping away from the hills at the moment because everybody else is there. So I don't think there's anything... Oh, there we go. It's finally come through. Thanks, Andy, once again for joining in. It's very good of you. I don't think there's an awful lot more. Shiwi. Sorry, Shiwi. I keep doing that every time I see it. What a mistake. One of the first podcasts I ever did was the girl behind Shiwi. And every time I see your spelling, I keep saying it wrong. So I do apologise, Shiwi. Right. You've got a distraction. Let's have a quick look. Drop Shuey's comment in the chat and just see if that pops up. Let's have a quick look. Is it there? Is it there? No, not at all. Let's try again. Right, try again. Here we go. Shuey. Enjoying distraction from getting my antisocial 2021 TG route submitted. Planning and resupply is proving tricky. I bet. This year, as so many campsites, hostels aren't responding to queries yet. Excuse me. Yes, I understand there is going to be quite a challenge this year, literally, coin a phrase, getting parcels sent ahead. And also, a lot of the small businesses have been struggling, understandably, and they are obviously in the depths of snow at the moment. So everybody's battened down the hatches. It was one thing I was going to ask Chris Townsend about, actually, because obviously he's in the heart of the Highlands, to see if as many people have closed down as been intimated. But we're not on the TGO this year. We haven't applied for it, or last year even, of course it was delayed to this year, wasn't it? But it does make me wonder how long it'll be before it all clears, which is a great disappointment for everybody that's obviously planning to go or hoping to go this year. And I do hope it sorts itself out, but it might be carrying a little bit more weight this year between resupplies. I think that's possibly the danger. Still nobody's dialed in with an email. Come on, guys, now be brave, dial in and be a random caller. I'm prepared to risk it tonight. My finger hovers over the mute button, but you're welcome to join us and make any comments or ask any questions about any of the guests that we've interviewed or who we will be chatting to. It's always nice to take that a stage further. On the ISPO front, Rose, was there anything else that you can think of that caught our eye when we were trying to watch it?
No, not really. It was difficult. I mean, you made a very good point, because it was a screen full of places you had to sort of click on to go and visit. And Bob was sort of saying if it was actually, live recording and lots of people moving around the stalls and things, then you'd feel like you wanted to drop in. But as it was like just text, and you could click on it and then say if you wanted to speak to somebody. But it was just so cold, wasn't it? It was difficult not to be. It didn't draw you in. I think that's what it was.
No, I think it was a good. I mean, I suppose they did the best under the circumstances as regards what they were trying to do. I don't sort of sound too negative, but I was thinking from a inspirational point of view, when you're at a show, something will catch your eye, and I was expecting the brands to have a shop window almost, where even just a slideshow, where you'd go to their page and their products would be flipping over in front of you, or something animated, or something fairly quick, almost as if you were looking at an iPad and you could just quickly scroll through and go, oh, that's interesting, before moving on to another stand. But unless you knew the name of the brand that you were looking for, there was virtually no other way of searching for inspiring or interesting products, unless they were featured at the beginning of the day with the quick half-hour or hour live stream that they were doing. But I missed some of the talks, which apparently were quite interesting. But again, it's a bit one-dimensional, I think. I think we're all learning as we go along with this whole live streaming business, really. Anyway, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be brave enough to join us for another call. So thanks very much indeed to Mark Jan for dropping in. Martha, if you're watching, I was hoping to have a chat with you in Canada, and Sarah in New Zealand, but I think you're going to work at the moment. This is the beginning of your day, isn't it? So I can understand that. And everybody else, well, thanks everybody for joining in and watching. Now, next week, that's an interesting one, a really interesting one, talking about sustainability again. This is with a company called Arms of Andes. They are based in Europe, based in the Netherlands, and they manufacture from Peru. It's a small family company. Just happens that two members of the family are living in two different places. But we're really looking forward to going into a discussion about alpacas, the benefits, the technical benefits of the wool, and the actual production process they go through. So we're really looking forward to them. So this is what's coming next Wednesday. And we have a question that's come in from Andy. Let's see if this is... it's working. And question for Rose. Oh, okay. But this one anyway, Rose. Would you recommend the Montane Prism Pants for women as they only do them in a men's size? You've tried them out. Yeah, you've used them, haven't you?
I just written a reply. They're very comfortable, really warm. I still use them. Great camp wear. So at the end of the day, when you've got your tent up and you want to get nice and toasty before you get in a sleeping bag, I usually put those on with a down jacket and got all nice and cozy and warm, ready for sleeping. And if it was really cold, then I'd keep them on in my quilt or sleeping bag for an extra layer. So definitely well worth taking. And they rolled down really small as well, which was good. So definitely in my wardrobe still.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with some of these chats that are coming in. YouTube's coming in and Facebook seems to have stopped running. I've noticed that Tim Butcher's with us. Hi, Tim. Nice to have you joining us. Good to see your name again. He was talking a bit about Clatamousen earlier on when it was on that subject, and I missed his name, sadly. But what question were you referring to, Rose? Because I can't see anything else here. Is it on Facebook?
No, it's just the next one after I replied. Has it not come through?
No, all I can see is Shuey's and the question from Andy.
It was Andy's basically saying he's planning to go to the Birmingham Expo, which has been cancelled. It would have been his first time. Could you talk him through any previous events and where it's worth going? Where it's worth going to? It's not many. Our show when we used to do it.
Yeah, well, we stopped that 2 years ago, didn't we? We did think we might have a show here, but I'm not too sure whether that might happen. No, there's obviously the Kendal Mountain Festival. Actually, I've not been in all the Keswick and the Kendal. I've not been to, and I did plan to go to them last year because I was hoping to do a live show from both of them. There's obviously the various shows that sort of come and go at the NEC. The sort of caravan and camping show, which generally is more caravan than camping, and the Expo, which was a new show. And it's the same people behind the Expo that run the trail running show as well. So there's a little bit of a crossover there. But otherwise, everything else I can think of is on hold until, obviously, it's a very expensive process to prepare for a show, let alone actually run the show on the day itself. I used to run events myself many years ago. In fact, it's the 30th anniversary this year of the National Mountain Bike Championships that I ran in Malvern. So I'm hoping to dig out some materials, some photographs from that, showing me with hair and nice legs with shorts, and some of the activity that took place in that. But that's another story entirely. But that was a great event when it happened. But since then, to immediately answer your question, I cannot think immediately of a show that's worth going to at the moment that is definitely on. And listening to the news tonight, obviously, if people are starting this injection vaccine passports before you travel and whatever else, I think it's a case of wait and see, isn't it, really, to see what happens. So we're looking forward to Arms of Andes next week. So do join us if you can. And, of course, if you don't follow us, I would love it if you did follow us. And you can follow us in all the various places that I would hope you would find us: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course the Outdoor Station website. And if you can join the newsletter when you're there, that'd be fantastic. We, of course, are the longest running outdoors podcasts in the world, 537, running for over 16 years. And thank you goes to everybody that contributes to the show in their various ways. You, the guests, you, the viewers, rather, guests, and obviously everybody else involved, especially those who've donated a small amount with Ko-fi or Patreon. So thanks very much indeed for that. But unless there's anything else coming through which I've missed, Rose, because I think you're seeing more questions or comments than I am for some reason. Anything else coming through?
There's a Mac on board tested his Hexpeak with a Kifaru. Is that a type of stove? In Norway last week.
Oh, excellent.
He said it was great.
Fantastic. Lovely. Okay, guys. Well, thanks very much indeed for joining us and joining the show. We've had a reasonable time, and thanks to Mark Jan for joining in. everybody else that's contributed on the chat. And sorry about the technical side of the chat. I'm not too sure what's going on there. But good to see everybody is still feeling fairly positive. And obviously, as the weather's changing, hopefully we will all be getting outside sooner rather than later. But keep fighting the fight. Keep doing the best. Keep staying safe and staying well. But definitely, that's bye from Rose and I tonight. Give us a wave, Rosie.
Bye.
Bye.